This week, another encore from Season 2 of On the Farm, our Emmy-winning series on stress in agriculture. That stress is certainly a part of daily life for the two brothers you are about to meet. Ed and Ben Pentecost run a catfish farm in the Mississippi Delta. They carefully go to work knowing they could lose hundreds of thousands of dollars on any given day.
I'm Ed Pentecost from Doddsville, Mississippi, and I'm a partner in Pentecost Brothers, a catfish farm. We farm-raised catfish on 585 acres of water in Sunflower County.
We grew up on a row crop farm. Our dad raised rice and soybeans, so he retired in 1985, and Ed and I took over the farm, and we were raising rice, soybeans, and catfish.
Catfish was really taking off at the time, back in the early 80s. It was expanding very rapidly. We actually built 4 ponds that year. The next year we built 4 more. Then we waited a couple of years, built 4 more. It just expanded over time until we were eventually spending a lot more of our time and energy on the catfish than we were on the row crop.
But at that time, 95% of our income was coming from fish and about 5% from farm. And our time wasn't divided that way. Our time was more 50-50. So we went total fish starting in 1993. We only need enough for 1 truck. So we only need enough for 1 truck. There are times where I've wondered whether it was a worthwhile life choice to choose the catfish business, because it's so demanding day in and day out.
Catfish farming is really tough, both physically as well as mentally and financially. In the United States, aquaculture is not a labor-heavy industry, it's more capital-oriented. So there is less number of people managing huge amounts of fish, so that makes it much more rigorous in their management aspects. So the owner or the manager has a lot more duties that is atypical in other aquaculture sectors.
Every day of the week, we start out by checking oxygen levels and cutting off the aerators that have been cut on during the night as the oxygen dropped.
Fish have to have oxygen just as people do. They get theirs out of the water like we get ours out of the air. The aerators flow it out in the pond, and they have a 10-horse motor, and they churn the water to put oxygen in the water. The finer the particles you can break the water, the more oxygen it can absorb. We try to keep the fish in real good shape overnight, because we don't get paid for any that arrive at the plant in bad condition. You know, they'll if they're dead or too weak. Sometimes weakness will cause red spots in the fish. When the truck gets here, we'll get out there with a boat and gather them up and tighten them up where we can dip them with our loader. We load anywhere from 500 to 1,500 pounds in the dip. On a bob truck, we usually load around 15,000 pounds. On a trailer, 25,000 pounds. it's something, like I said, we do at least twice a week, year round.
Market prices can be a challenge too. Right now we're experiencing the highest prices that we ever have. But even though the price of fish is higher than it's ever been, we're also paying more for feed than we ever have. It's highest prices ever. Where the cheapest formulas are well over $500 a ton. So that adds up quickly when you feed daily.
Feed is the biggest of all the financial input that you require. So feed appropriates close to about 45 to 50% of the total cost of the farming. A typical catfish farm may range from $4,500 to $10,000, $12,000 per acre. So that's the amount of money that you need to incur in a year per acre. So you can just imagine the amount of money that is required to run a business in its entirety.
We had one year that the price of feed went up at the same time we had an oversupply of fish, and the price of fish went down, where it cost us 25 cents a pound more to grow fish than we were receiving. At that time, fish were 85 cents a pound. So, you know, it's tough to come to work every day when you know you're losing 25 cents on every pound.
You cannot sacrifice or cull those fish just because the prices are low, right? You still have to sell them to recover that money that you've already put in, even though you're not making profit. And that's a very common thing. Cash flow problems can come in this kind of situation, you know. When you really need cash and you don't have it, you can't feed it. When you can't feed it, your fish won't grow. So your profit that was actually going to come in October or December time may not be fruitful. 2 to 3 years, you can go down from a very profitable operation to bankruptcy.
And once you're in, and it's you have to keep going. You can't hold back. You have to grow fish and sell them. They're not like soybeans that you can put in a bin and store. You have to keep them alive and keep them fed, so the expense never stops. I guess our biggest stress was probably worrying about our fish living through the night every night. We have good help that are out here watching the fish, but there's always things that can go wrong. The biggest risk that we have is a power outage, because we don't have enough backup equipment to cover all of our ponds if we have a total power outage. In 2015, we experienced our worst night ever. Someone hit a power pole that took the town north and south of us out, and all of our power totally.
I was here by myself and with my night man. He called me about 8:30 at night, had an electrical outage. So I called the electric company. They tell me it'll be 3 hours.
And we already had every piece of equipment running. It was the kind of night that everything was already running before the power went out. We were all out here playing musical chairs with our tractor aerators, trying to keep fish alive. They pop up in one pond, we put an aerator in, get them back down, and then they'd pop up in the pond we pulled that aerator from. And we just moved around waiting on a repair that never came. We estimated that we lost over 300,000 pounds of fish that night. That's a level of stress that most people don't even have to face, but we've had things like that happen so many times that we keep, get over it and keep going.
I don't know what the end game will be, how we'll ever decide to get out of this business, or whether we'll sell the ponds or rent them out or convert them to row crop or whatever. I don't know what the best alternative is there, but at some point we'll probably have to consider that, and we hadn't got a game plan yet.
Do you ever feel kind of trapped?
Yeah. If we decided today that we're stopping, we're getting out, we'd be faced with how do we sell what inventory of fish we have. It usually takes a year to sell the amount of fish that we have in inventory now. And they may not all be big enough right now, so some will require some more feed. Well, if you keep feeding them, you keep checking oxygen, you keep all the same labor. You have to have the insurance, you have to have the financing, and everything to keep going till every fish can be sold. Then you have the ponds, and have to decide, what to do with those ponds. Are they going to be farmed, or are they going to, be rented to someone or sold to someone who's going to grow fish? Right now, it's easier just to keep going.
Ed and Ben kept their chins held high, but the stress was intense. Very important, if you or someone you know is in emotional crisis, call or text 988 anytime for confidential free crisis support.